What's good, people? If you're clicking on this video, chances are that you're skinny fat and you're looking for a way to improve your physique because you're not sure whether you should cut or if you should bulk or if you should do a whole bunch of cardio. I'll be addressing all the things I think will help you improve your physique and all the things that I've kind of followed as well to kind of get me to the physique I am now, because I used to be a lot doughy back in the past and people don't know that. So stay tuned for the rest of the video. It's going to be hella informative and hopefully help a lot of you guys out, and if it does, hit that thumbs up button. It really does help the channel. But without further ado, let's get into skinny fat and how to fix it. I'll be going over what skinny fat is, how do you lose it, whether you should bulk or if you should cut, and what you should and shouldn't do. So stay tuned. So skinny fat is generally someone that looks fairly slim with a t-shirt on and usually weighs very little as well. But when the t-shirt comes off, they tend to have like quite a bit of belly fat, and in some cases they have man boobs as well. And this is due to the disproportionate amount of body fat to muscle ratio they have on their whole frame. And ways that skinny fat physiques usually occur is normally down to people not having any kind of clue when it comes to like nutrition or training in general. So for the most part, they'll be eating like bad foods without even knowing it, because they just eat food as and when, which is usually like junk foods, snacks, chocolate bars, sweets, really things that have like really no form of like good macronutrients to it. So no good proteins, no good carbs, no good fats, anything like that. So that's just really oblivious to you. You don't really know what to eat, so you just eat as and when you feel like it. And the second one comes down to like training experience. They either have little or no training experience at all. So you either don't train, which means you're having no muscle stimulation, therefore you're not really building like a muscular frame. So the little muscle you have in your body is just there almost by birth, and the rest of the fat you're just gaining due to the poor diet you're following. There are many different people that make you many different types of advice now when it comes to like being skinny fat, whether you should cut or bulk or whatever. Me personally, I would never say cut to someone that's skinny fat, because I feel like you're already really underweight anyway. It's just that you happen to have a belly, so you don't really have any muscle frame to your body. So you're going to go out there and cut and end up losing the body fat, but you're going to look even skinnier because the little muscle you did have is most likely going to get wasted away as well as you're cutting. So I feel like personally, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, just because you're going to look very slim and almost anorexic at the very end stage, and it's like you're starting from like just bare bones, if you know what I'm saying, which without being disrespectful. So I would personally not go for that approach. I would even go so far to say it's almost wasted time. During that time you're using up like trying to lose the body fat you have, you could actually be building a better body composition by actually weight training, and you're forgetting the fact that when you're new to lifting, your body is primed to make a lot more muscle gains, purely because in the first few years of lifting, usually 2 years, the rate at which you can gain muscle is way higher than after like 2 years. So if you spend that first year trying to get rid of this body fat when you could have actually been building like a good foundation of muscle, which is going to make you look leaner and in better shape anyway. Skinny fat people usually look really bad because there is no muscle frame on their body at all. If you build muscle, you will start looking better. Even if the scale doesn't say you're lighter, you begin to have like more of a muscular frame, which is going to make you in turn look a lot more in shape. Most people's immediate thought to kind of deal with being skinny fat is go on the cardio machine and do loads of cardio, which is actually the worst thing you can do. And the reason for that is cardio alone is a weight loss protocol, and even though that sounds like what you want, it's really not. At the end of the day, what you want to do is lose fat, not lose weight in total, because weight includes muscle and fat, and you don't want to lose them both simultaneously, because when you lose like muscle and fat at the same sort of rate, the ratio stays the same. Therefore, when you look in the mirror, you don't look any different, even though on the scales you may appear lighter. And that is a big error. So this is why, in my opinion, if you're skinny fat, I wouldn't focus too much on the scale, purely because it can fluctuate way too much. What you need to do is really go by the mirror, as there's no point focusing on the scale if your body fat to muscle ratio hasn't improved. If it's still the same, you're just getting lighter, but you're still looking the exact same in the mirror, you're not really making any progress, are you? So that's why you need to listen to my tips and stay tuned for what I'm going to tell you next. For those of you wondering whether to start bulking, in my opinion, I wouldn't start bulking unless you're in the very like skinny version of skinny fat, because there's usually two types. There's the more podgy type when you have like the man boobs, and there's the more skinny version where usually your whole body is actually very skinny, but then you just have the belt area. If you're in that kind of phase, I'd say going to like a surplus of calories. I wouldn't officially call it bulking, because usually people around that kind of skinny fat top body frame, usually you're actually under eating, but you just happen to have a belly. So if anything, make sure you're eating the right amount of calories and then start training. So I wouldn't necessarily call it a bulk, but yes, you would be eating more than you regularly would. So what you actually need to do is begin training to stimulate muscle growth. as you want to improve your muscle to body fat ratio so the proportion starts looking better. Therefore, in the mirror, you begin looking way better. One thing you need to know here is that muscle weighs more than fat. So as you begin like training for the first time and you start building muscle, you will appear heavier on the scales, which is why earlier on in the video I said not to really focus on the scales too much because they can fluctuate up and down. If you do like extreme weight loss, you'll get really lighter. If you do training, you're gonna get heavier, which is why tracking your progress through the mirror and not the scales is always the way forward in my opinion. Furthermore, what I would actually say as well is to take progress photos every 2 weeks. Don't do them every week. I think every 2 weeks is roughly enough usually to kind of see a difference from the previous 2 weeks. On to the next tip. The reason why I'm recommending doing training over doing cardio is because one kind of benefit about being skinny fat is you're in that period where you actually can build muscle and burn fat at the same time, because when you're fairly new to lifting, because your body's not used to this activity level, you'll be burning fat as well as obviously the weight training, building your muscles and making them bigger. So you're almost in like the perfect position to actually stimulate rapid muscle growth. So you're in a good position. Don't feel downhearted if you are in the skinny fat position, trust me. If you need a structured bodybuilding routine to follow, be sure to check out my channel playlist. I have a couple in there. I have a push-pull legs one, and I also have a 4-day split. And if you haven't started the gym before and you don't know what to do, you don't know where to start, I also have another video just like this one, really in detail, very clear, that kind of goes over the complete guide to how to start the gym for the first time. And the video is doing fairly well. It's almost at 40,000 views, so be sure to check it out and let me know what you think about it on that video. Of all the tips I'm going to give you in this video, the one I want you to heed the most is that it will take time. I know a lot of you want to kind of get rid of skinny fat physique as quick as you can. You're probably Googling and searching all sorts of things like lose skinny fat physique really quick. But what I will say is that it does take time, and patience and progress go hand in hand. Trust me, the more gradual you do this, the more likely you are to maintain the muscle that you've built, maintain not gaining the body fat, because you're going to actually learn a lot more along the journey. If you try and do like a really crash diet or try and do everything really quick, there's nothing in life usually comes really easy. You have to actually work at it. So if you have patience and are willing to like take the time to really improve your body the healthier way, you will see progress. Also, for those of you that may be watching this video who are previously skinny fat, please comment below any tips you think I may have missed out in the video, or anything you feel like that would really help someone else, because I want the comment section to almost be like a second resource for people, because especially if it's other people that's previously been skinny fat already, because that would also reinforce either what I've said or reinforce some sort of tip that will help people and give them motivation to carry on going. And also, please write any time frames you may have had as well, which you actually made progress on. So at least then it gives people more realistic expectations, because I've previously been really doughy. Like, I was skinny fat once upon a time, and it is hard to bear. Like, you look good in a t-shirt, everyone thinks you're in shape, but you and your missus know that deep down under your top you're a bit doughy, you don't feel that confident. So back when I was skinny fat, I think I have an image of when after a year to me training, which is in this video somewhere. It's the one where I'm like before and after. But during the period that I was skinny fat, I took no pictures, no video, because that was before I was doing YouTube, and I was highly embarrassed of my physique underneath the top. And I do understand the pain of what it is to go through, but the one thing I will say, it did take time. It wasn't like a thing like in 4 weeks I was in shape. It took over gradual time. I got to the physique you see on screen, which is still a bit chubby, but at least I had a frame on me. So I'm a prime example of it can be done, and you can definitely do it faster than me as well. So be sure to keep me updated. Tag me your progression photos, hit me up on my social medias, at Chilling with TJ on Snapchat and on Instagram, and just stay involved, man. I want to see everyone's progress, and hopefully everyone starts making some gains. And obviously this goes without saying, I didn't talk about it in the video, you need to be following like a fairly balanced diet throughout this time, because obviously diet is a big vital part of this whole journey as well. So if you don't know what foods to eat, be sure to check out the full day of eating videos on my channel, or the meal prep videos, and we'll definitely give you like a good starting point of where to go and what sort of foods you can fit into your diet. All the tips I've gone over in this video helped me improve my physique a lot, so hopefully it does the same for you guys. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up, share it with a friend as well, and let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe, and I will be gone, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out, stay getting gains, and peace out, people.